may recognize Senator Shaheen, please.
Thank you. Good morning, and thank you both for your testimony this morning. I returned a couple of weeks ago from the Western Balkans with Senator Tillis and Senator Murphy. We visited Serbia, Bosnia-Herzegovina, and Kosovo. And one of the things we heard in that region was a great deal of concern about Russian meddling and the potential, particularly in Bosnia, for that to further destabilize the country. Are you all following what's going on in that part of Europe, and are you equally concerned?
Should I start? Thank you, Senator Shaheen. So I'll just start and obviously hand over to my colleague as well. But yes, we are concerned about this. This is something we've been working with NATO on in particular to try to help them be more resilient in this context. And, you know, both information and cyber issues are obviously at stake. But I think managing how it is that Russia develops and what kind of activities they engage in worldwide during this crisis and beyond will be a critical aspect of our work moving forward.
Can I just, before you begin, General, can I just ask you to speak to NATO and U4 in Bosnia? Because, as you know, the authorization for U4 is going to end this fall in Bosnia, and there's real concern about Russia's willingness to allow that to continue. So what are we doing to ensure that the troops are not taken out of Bosnia and a void left that provides a real vacuum for instability?
Senator, I think that's a policy question. I'd refer it to the Department of Defense. And Senator, to the earlier portion of your question, I believe this is a key component of strategic competition, and this is where I think with our partners and allies and certainly NATO, we have to be able to identify that kind of malign activity and expose it and help our partners and future partners be aware of it and do more to counter it. Yes, we are aware of it.
Thank you. Well, I would say that policy decision needs to be viewed very closely by everybody so that we don't wind up with a vacuum there that we're not able to address. I want to go to what's still happening with ISIS, because, as you both know, we have thousands of ISIS family members who are still being held in camps in northern Syria. They're posing a persistent challenge, not only humanitarian, but the potential as breeding grounds for terrorists. So are we watching closely what's going on there, and what are we doing to try and address what's happening in those camps?
From the perspective of the Department of Defense and DI, we are watching very, very closely what's happening in those camps, what's happened since the break-in, and really with our CENTCOM partners trying to monitor ISIS capability as it evolves over time and what's happening with those families and where they're moving. This is a problem that we partner with CENTCOM and the Defense Counterterrorism Center and really the National Counterterrorism Center. It's a huge focus for everybody.
And do we have a strategy for how to deal with it?
We have an intelligence collection strategy to monitor it.
And we're seeing the Taliban in Afghanistan renege on everything they said they would do post-troop withdrawal. Obviously, one of those is continuing their relationship with al-Qaeda and other terrorist groups in Afghanistan. How concerned are you that we might see terrorist activity spread out of Afghanistan to the rest of the world?
Senator, I am more concerned about ISIS-K in Afghanistan and the fact that they have had some successful and catastrophic attacks within Afghanistan, which does not portend well for the future. Al-Qaeda has had some problems with reconstitution leadership, and to a degree, I think the Taliban have held to their word about not allowing al-Qaeda to rejuvenate so far, but it's something that we watch very, very carefully.
And there was an election in the Philippines yesterday, and the winner of that election, Mr. Marcos, is not likely to have as positive a view to the United States? Are you concerned that that is going to have an impact on how China is going to view activity in the Philippines? And do we expect there might be any spillover in terms of illegal substances from the Philippines now that Duterte is no longer doing his extra legal killing of people suspected of being drug kingpins?
Senator, I think it's early in the process with the elected Marcos to determine whether or not he'll be anti-U.S. or pro-U.S. I know that we would like to have the Philippines as a key intelligence partner in the region. I think there's a lot of effort going on to do that. So we'll wait to see what percolates of all this in our relationship, and I'll just end it there.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator Shaheen. Senator Fisher.